Sometimes the most difficult thing to do is nothing. The ego mind is an unconscious program that drives us to keep doing, to keep pushing, to keep choosing. Sometimes the hardest thing to say is nothing. The unconscious programs will tell us that we must say something. We must have an answer. We must have a retort. We must reply. But saying nothing is an answer also. Doing nothing, being present in the stillness of the now moment, is one of the most powerful, life-changing non-things that you can do. Most of us were schooled to thinking that we must continuously provide answers, take action, be on the go, be on the move. But Source says, be still and know that I am God. The energies of this current timeline known as 2022 are accelerating beyond our wildest dreams. The paradox of that is that your body, your wisdom, and your life playing out will feel as though it's slowing down. It will look as though you are slowing down. It will feel as though you don't have the energy to fly around the place and flit and fly and flit and fly, because that was the ego driving you. Which the paradox of that is a very dense, heavy, lower on the scale frequency. When we slow down, when we are present, our frequency, our energy actually accelerates and rises higher. So as we bring the body and the mind down, the energy accelerates and goes up. Don't be fooled by your elders who are wise and slow. their soul energy is actually moving much faster than their younger or not peers, but younger human friends or family. Their soul, their monad, their consciousness is speeding up as they prepare to transition back to the source. This is what is happening in the world. Manifestation, creation is much faster. We can press a button, poof, and things appear. We can dream a dream and it manifests the next day. These are some fast moving frequencies. But in order to embody and ground in those higher, more sophisticated frequencies, one must slow down and one must have the energy, the required energy to expand the aura enough so it can be a container of these frequencies. So it can be a co-creative element of alchemy. Oh, I love that. Beautifully said, Spirit. A co-creative element of alchemy. Because to create alchemy, there must be a container to hold the lead before we can transform it into gold. Some of you are being asked to be that container now, myself included. We've always been a container, but the mastery, the expansion of that container is being called upon in a much deeper, bigger way. Much stronger than we've ever felt or understood before. Which requires us to paradoxically match those accelerated frequencies by being still, silent, but all powerfully present. You can apply this teaching, these principles, in your life if you are struggling with a situation where you are indecisive. Perhaps somebody is trying to get a reaction from you. The energy at this time is quite reactionary. It's quite sensitive. And I said in my previous video, this is a time to sit pretty, to be still. This is a time not to get pulled in to the drama. This slowing down of everything, this presence, this awareness, will steer up people's internal trauma and stuff. And especially for those who are not used to being present with that stuff. It could cause them to react to you. Your sensitivity, your embodiment of internal power could mirror back the lack of that in others. Your thriving could irritate those who are not thriving. Especially if you consider yourself an empath, crystal, blue ray, indigo soul, angel, angelic soul. We are mirrors. So if somebody's in deep pain, if somebody is struggling, we show up with this big bright mirror and we're not even aware of it. And it can freak people out. They don't want you shining that light and reflecting back their stuff. How dare you? Put that away. Remember, you have a third option, and that's to say nothing, but just hold the light, stand strong like the mighty oak tree, allow your branches to sway in the storm, but keep those roots steady deep down into the earth. When your phone rings, do you have to answer it? No. When that person from your past texts you, do you have to respond? The ego, physical mind, does not like stillness or silence, which is why it will often rush to fill in the spaces and gaps, instead of allowing the healing balm of frequencies of God to flow and billow between the gaps, the spaces, those sacred spaces. We see this symbolized in human beings building on any free space. If there's a beautiful patch of land, of grass, a meadow, they'll build a shopping center there because humanity has lost respect for space. But we need space. We need sacred space. We need nature. We need meadows. We need forests. We need great expanses of air and natural frequency. And we need spaces in our thoughts. We need gaps between our overwhelmment and stress. We need space away from people, from places, from situations. We need sometimes to take that space. And sometimes we just need to sit in the silence with someone and not try to verbalize and egotize away their pain. Or react and get one up on them because they got one up on you, and you're going to be wittier and more sarcastic and more bombastic. If you're watching this message right now, you're not part of that game anymore. You're not even part of that world. You're in a new timeline. And you chose to be here. Get used to mastering this moment. And if you don't feel you're there yet, teach yourself. You can teach yourself. You can teach yourself to be strong and rooted and calm like the mighty oak tree. I like to connect to the Irish oak. I see myself stepping into her trunk. I ask permission and she says, yes, come inside, lean on me. And it lifts up my confidence. these times ask us to not just intellectualize the cliche of going within, but to actually live it, to embody it, to embrace it, and to be an example of that calmness, of that neutrality in the world, so that we can inspire others to do the same. So now we've come full circle with this spiritual message for you. There's nothing you have to do. You do not need to defend or explain or convince anybody of anything. What is true simply is. When there is love, it's there. It doesn't need to be proved. Love is experienced, it's felt, it's known. May this message bless you in your life and guide and direct you moving forward. I send you blessings. Namaste.